When I first started trading, I thought consistency would come from finding the perfect strategy. I believed that if I just had the right indicators, the right setups, the right timing, then success would follow. But the harsh reality of trading taught me otherwise. Consistency is not a result of strategy alone. It is a mental framework, a way of thinking, and approaching the market that governs every decision you make. Consistent traders don't rely on luck. They don't wait for the market to align with their emotions. They operate from a place of discipline and preparation. Their mindset is built on understanding that losses are part of the process and that every trade is data rather than judgment on their skill. For years, I fought against my own inconsistency. I'd enter trades impulsively when emotions ran high, then punish myself for the mistakes that followed. I'd chase setups, overtrade, or close profitable positions too early out of fear. I felt trapped in a cycle that I couldn't break until I began to examine my mental approach. The first step in developing a consistent mindset was to detach from outcomes. Winning or losing a single trade became irrelevant. What mattered was adherence to a plan, risk management, and the execution of defined rules. I realized that emotional attachment to each trade had been sabotaging my results more than the market ever could. Patience became my foundation. I learned to wait for clean setups rather than forcing trades. I began tracking my patterns, journaling not just entries and exits, but also emotional triggers. I noted which situations led to hesitation, impulsivity, or overconfidence. Over time, I could anticipate my reactions and intervene before they caused harm. Consistent traders also structure their environment to reduce emotional interference. They limit exposure, define risk per trade, and remove distractions. They know that fatigue, stress, and external pressures directly affect performance, so they take proactive steps to maintain clarity. Trading is a mental game, and the strongest traders treat it as such. One of the most important lessons I learned was that discipline is more critical than strategy. You can have the most profitable system in the world, but without the mental fortitude to follow it, it will fail. Consistent traders are meticulous with their routines, from pre-trade analysis to post-trade reflection. Every action is intentional, every decision grounded in logic rather than impulse. Another pillar of their mental framework is adaptability. Markets are never static. What worked yesterday may not work today. Consistent traders are not rigid. They continuously evaluate and adjust their approach without letting ego dictate decisions. They treat each trade as a learning opportunity, using mistakes as data rather than reasons to panic. Over time, I noticed a profound shift in my own trading. My emotional reaction softened. Losses no longer felt catastrophic. Wins no longer inflated my ego. I developed a sense of calm detachment, where each trade became an experiment, a reflection of process rather than result. That mental clarity became my edge. Consistency is also about preparation and risk management. Professional traders understand that survival is more important than excitement. They define their risk, determine acceptable drawdowns, and never chase trades impulsively. This discipline creates a protective framework that allows for steady growth over time. Finally, consistent traders cultivate self-awareness. They continuously monitor their thoughts, emotions, and behavior. They know what triggers impatience, fear, or greed, and they build strategies to mitigate those impulses. This introspection is not a one-time exercise. It is an ongoing practice that strengthens with experience. When I finally internalized this mental framework, trading became less stressful and more predictable. I no longer felt hostage to market movements or my own emotions. Instead, I approached every trade with clarity, patience, and confidence, knowing that my edge came not from predicting outcomes, but from my ability to execute consistently. Consistency in trading is not an innate talent. It is cultivated through awareness, discipline, patience, and preparation. By embracing these principles, traders can navigate the inevitable volatility of markets without letting fear or emotion dictate their actions. Over time, this approach transforms not just results, but the trader themselves, creating resilience, control, and long-term success. Understanding the mental framework of consistent traders changes your perspective. It shifts focus from chasing profits to mastering yourself. It teaches you that consistency is not a destination, but a daily practice, a mindset that can be developed, strengthened, and refined over years of thoughtful application. The trader who masters this framework is calm in the face of adversity, patient with opportunities, disciplined in execution, and self-aware at every step. That is the essence of consistent trading, a combination of mental strength, procedural fidelity, and emotional mastery that separates the few who survive and thrive from the many who falter.